Hi everybody, it's Friday and I have a bunch of new grain and my breads haven't quite been turning out the same as what they were before. Now that can be expected. It could also be just because I tend to forget about things a lot. But what I did notice is that this year has been unusually heavier in rain. I forget what they call it, some kind of thing. It's not El Nino, but it's some kind of geographical thing where we get a whole bunch more rain for this particular year. I don't get it, but all right, whatever. So what does that mean for our bread would be the first question. And that is, when we get more water during the growing season, from what I understand, that makes a softer grain. It's less protein. If there is less precipitation during the growing period, we have more protein. So it's almost like water and protein are like this inverse relationship. And so if we have hard grain, we're buying from the store, and it rained a whole lot more during the growing season for that hard grain, there's going to be less protein in it than if it were a really dry season. And this is why our bread might not behave the same way from batch to batch of grains. So we're going to test the two different types of wheat that we got just to see how it's performing, and do we need to adjust our hydration for that flour. Now I'm going to credit Rob Ross because he's the one who challenged me to do this like 2 years ago with all of my grains. Like, you should do an experiment where you mill all the different flours and see how much water they suck up until they don't suck up anymore. And I was like, oh, I was just looking in the absorption rate, but I never thought of doing an experiment. Geek mind stimulated. Let's go, right? Hi, Dee Dee. Okay, so I did that, and that is how I got my Italian bread base the way that it is, and we didn't have to use additives to have it be awesome and soft and all of that. But it was really eye-opening because I could finally see what happened to the grain as we added more water. Like, a bread grain might not do great once you add a certain amount more water. And soft grains, right, like our soft wheat and all that, they don't come together in the same way that the hard wheat does when we add water. So we're going to play with some flour today. I have 2 jars here, and we are going, I'm going to do 3. I'm going to do a Red Fife, the Rouge de Bordeaux, and Spelt, because I want to see how it compares, okay? We need 1 more jar. All right, we're ready. We're not going to waste time. We're just going to get it done. Here we go. So you can do this with any new batch of grains. I like to do 100 grams of the grain because it's easy to figure out what the hydration percentage is when you use an even number like 100. Okay? First things first, we will be milling directly into the jar. Second, we're going to zero out our scale. Okay? We'll start with Red Fife, because that's what I have right here. Okay. 100 grams of Red Fife is going to get milled into this mason jar. And I want to mill it as fine as I can. So red fife, 100 grams. We need labels, folks.
Oh my gosh, Mom.
What?
This thing actually says goodbye to you.
What? Do you have... I need paper. I need a paper towel.
Welcome.
Oh, look at that.
Goodbye.
Okay.
Goodbye. Says it right on the screen.
RF. Red fife. This marker's shot, isn't it? Okay. That's the red fife. 100 grams. Let's get all our flour milled first. And we'll add the water to see. This is going to be very important for everybody to do. If you get a new batch of grains and you're like, I don't know why my bread's not turning out the same way it always has, it's probably the new batch of grains, not you. We just have to adjust things a little bit. This one and then this one. Okay. Number 2, we're going to mill Rouge de Bordeaux. Rouge de Bordeaux is RDB. And spelt. There. We're going to do 100 grams of spelt. And then we're done our milling for this. I feel like I should just do 100 grams more of something else. And then just make a bread with it. Oh, kamut. I'll do kamut for kicks. All right. Here we go. Spelt's going to be softer, so I'll have to back off the stones a little bit. Our spelt and okay, so we're gonna use our scale. Okay. Sorry, I'm having technical problems here. There we go. All right, we're gonna mill kamut for the last one. That needs to be tightened down a little extra because it's harder than all the rest. and we'll get a loaf of bread all at the same time, and I'm not wasting anything, so that's exciting. All right, that was part of the holdup for me doing this experiment for so long. When Rob and I were talking, I'm like, well, what should I do with it? He's like, I don't know. You could just pitch it. And I was like, nope, I'm not throwing it away. So I turned each of the things into something, and that's fun. All right, so we've got red fife. I try to do this so you can see it. Kamut, I'll put them up here. Rouge de Bordeaux, spelt, I feel fancy when I say that. Okay, and our scale. We're gonna need some high quality H2O. Can you say that without saying it that way?
What, I hear what you just said?
High quality H2O.
Top quality H2O.
Okay. All right, we need agua. Let's get some.
Olive oily.
Agua, water. Agua is water in Spanish.
Oh.
Okay. Bread flour, all-purpose flour from the store. I used King Arthur. They absorb 68% of their weight in water. So that means if I had 100 grams of King Arthur all-purpose or bread flour, it would absorb 68 grams of water. Does that make sense? See, we're doing percentages at the same time. Like, math can be fun. All right, so we're gonna start there at the 68%. And we're gonna mix each of these up and see what happens. Okay. So we're gonna zero the scale and then very slowly pour 68 grams of water . 68, right on the dot. Okay, that's what it looks like. We're gonna do that in each of them, and then we're gonna mix them up. Tear that.
Oh, that's so good.
Duh, I went 2 grams over. I'm 70 grams here. So.
My dad's mom. Dad didn't even know that I'm learning Spanish. He forgot all
So
about
we're at 70 here, 68 here. We got to keep track here, folks. If you're doing just one, it's not that hard to do. Just take a piece of paper and write down where you're at. $68 of Kamut and spelt, because these are technically all new grains for me. Well, except the Kamut. I've been using that for a while. Oh, and I over poured. We're at 71. Okay. And that happens. So now we're going to mix each of these up. Okay. And it helps to have different spatulas. But I don't really have that many spatulas, so we're just going to do one at a time. First, the red fife. I'm just going to turn the camera over here so it's not so hard to show you what I'm doing. And we're just going to mix this up. Okay. Kind of like if we're feeding our stiff sourdough starter, this is what it looks like. Okay. And we can see very quickly that sucked up all the water and it's still got dry parts in it, right? Okay, so this needs more. However, we're gonna let that sit for a minute. We're gonna do Rouge de Bordeaux next. Okay. I'm gonna mix that up. Now, if you try to do this with like oat or soft wheat, you're gonna find that it doesn't look like a dough. It's more like a batter. Doesn't look this good. Okay. Next, let me get that back in there. Okay. Next is kamut, or Khorasan, the actual name. In case you didn't know, kamut is the brand name for Khorasan that's been grown in a specific way. It has to be organic. Hey, Rob, we're doing the experiment again. So Khorasan and kamut are the same grain, but when you buy kamut, you know it's organic. Okay, now this one, what this one looks like. Okay, and we still have quite a bit of flour down there in the bottom that has not been absorbed. So I'm going to try and wiggle that around. Okay. Get it incorporated. There it is. 68% hydration, which just means if we take 68 divided by the 100 grams of flour, we get 0.68. That's 68%. How much water compared to the flour? This is the same type of math that you would do in a bread recipe. You find out how much liquid you have in your recipe and you divide that into the flour. Everything is a percentage of the flour in baking. Okay, and this is the spelt at 71%, and it's holding its own very nicely. Okay, but this actually looks a little wetter than, say, this one. We still got a lot of dry here. Okay, so now that we can see that all four of these, did I show you the spelt? All four have absorbed the water. What now, right? Well, we add more water, and I like to do it in like 5-gram increments, unless I know that I'm far off, okay? So for today, we're just gonna do it in 5-gram increments because I don't know how much extra water went into all these grains and how little it may absorb. So we're gonna up the 70 grams of red fife to 75. I'm gonna add 5 grams. Ooh, it's gonna be tough to pour. Okay. Four grams. Oh, 6, 7. All right, so I got 7. You might even want to use a dropper. I don't know. I'm pouring from a pretty wide spout. Maybe if I use one of those little Pyrex things, they'll be better. Okay. So we're gonna, well, let me add for all of them. So I'm just gonna cross out the 70 and put 77. That's where we're at now. Okay. This one, I'm gonna take this up to 75. I'm gonna do, I'm gonna aim for 5 grams and do probably 7. Okay. And I got 8. Okay, so we're at 68 and 8 is 76. Okay. Kamut. Kamut can usually tolerate a lot of water.
The first thing you didn't notice yet?
12. So I'm bringing this one up, hold on, to 80. So I know it can tolerate it. So I just added 12 grams of water to our Kamut. Yes, buddy?
That thing won't work without a micro SD card.
It will work without a micro SD card. It holds up to 100 pictures by itself. And then we have the Spelt.
Wow,
Spelt, we're going to go slow.
100 for that kind of thing.
All right, and I added 6 grams. 71 plus 6, 77. Okay. And then we're going to mix them up. I know this gets a little boring, but it really is important. And this is not going to waste because we're going to make bread with it.
Yeah, it's not like it's going to become sourdough and just die.
I mean, it could be sourdough. All right, and this picked it up very nicely. I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so this is the red Fife, and we can see that it's somewhat stiff at 77% hydration, right? But a little bit elastic. And when you do this with soft grains, like a soft wheat or barley or whatever, you're not going to get that because it's not meant for bread. Okay, it's a soft grain. So next we'll mix up the Rouge de Bordeaux at 76%. Get all that water incorporated.
Yeah, mix it up.
We're kneading.
Next thing we're doing, Mom,
Okay.
don't forget salt.
And this one, well, I won't forget the salt. There's that dough. Same thing. It's very elastic. I'm not going to play with all the doughs and take forever. I want to get to the point here. This one, we went from 68% to 80%. Okay.
Think we're not doing it? Just look at our page. It literally says, just mill it on.
Okay, oops, I dropped a little bit. Okay. The very bottom of this jar has flour in it, so I'm going to get in there with my hands and try to just turn it around and suck up all the flour. There we go. Okay. And this dough, see how it doesn't have as much elasticity as the red Fife did? It's got a lot of protein in it, but I'm sorry, this isn't
Ready.
a great bread grain by itself.
Yeah, but it tastes
But it gives good structure. It does taste good and it looks good and it's a fun
Tastes
grain. We
good.
put it in our bread. Okay,
Good for you.
let me wash my hands real quick.
Yeah, wash your hands really quick.
Thanks for the commentary, bud.
I'll always be a step on.
You're all about it.
Mom,
Commentary.
I'm always going to be a step on. I'll always be helping you on
He's
something.
always my helper.
I'll be cheering you on to make you do stuff.
Okay, time out.
You feel like
You gotta see
doing it.
this. Don't mind the toilet. We got a new toilet. Okay. All right, next, spelt. Okay. Now this spelt's up to 77, up 5 more grams. And it's looking good, it's feeling good. So this isn't just about how much water it absorbs. It's about what does the dough do at that hydration. I learned so much more in this test than just about absorption. So here's our spelt, and we can see that it's less strong than the red fife, yet it still does have a little bit of elasticity in it. Actually, I feel like the spelt has more elasticity in it than the Kamut does. Okay. All right. Moving on. Round 3. Let's add some more water. Red fife. We're at 77. I'm gonna try to pour slow. That's tough to do. Okay. I could not have poured 9 grams in there. Okay, that's what it says. I guess I did. I poured fast. 7 and 9 is 86. We're at 86 with the red fife. Okay. You want to try to keep your increments small because between those numbers may be where your sweet spot is. The smaller those are, the more accurate you'll get it. Okay. Where are we at here? 76. Plus 6, 82. We're at 80 for Kamut. Oh, I love you.
What are you doing?
I got 5 straight off the bat. That's awesome. We're at 85. I am testing how much water each of these 100 grams of flour holds. And that helps me to know how much water I should put in my bread. So it can be...
You're doing like a test?
Yes, it's a test. Exactly. Now we're at 77.
You didn't have that word, I guess, in your thing.
Yeah. Did I not say test?
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Well, it's a test. That's what I'm doing.
It's a test to try to find out how much water they can hold. Okay, guys? Like this one, Mom, I think this one might be able to hold the most.
It might. We will only know by testing. Come on. 5. Yay! I got 5. That was tough to do. All right, 77 plus 5 is 82.
I'm trying to do 5 every second.
No, like this one I did almost 10. So the red fife, we're at 86%. Let's mix this up.
Can I mix it up?
Sure, you can mix that one up. You have to keep all the water in the dish. That's the goal, okay? And I'll mix up the Rouge de Bordeaux, which is at 82%.
See, this one's strong.
It is strong.
That's why I picked this.
Mixy mix. It's kind of like playing with Play-Doh.
Except dough.
Except bread dough, yeah. Okay. And we can let this sit for a while, or we could just mix it and help it get incorporated.
Help it get incorporated.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not going to sit here all day waiting.
For bread.
Yeah,
Really?
I want bread today.
Yeah, like just a loaf of bread.
Now this looks
We're not waiting.
fully, that looks pretty incorporated there. That is our 82% Rouge de Bordeaux.
This thing don't hold that much water.
I'm gonna pull this out and we're gonna feel it.
That don't hold that much water.
That doesn't hold that much water. I'm gonna mix this one up a little bit. No.
Oh.
I will give you one to do, okay? Okay. So as I start mixing it, see this one's got some stretch to it. See how much
Mom, could I do
more
this?
elastic these two are?
Could I do that one?
Okay. Can you do that one? You want to mix that one together? The spelt? Mix the Kamut. Mix this one, the yellow
Oh,
one.
I wanted to play with my hair.
Ah, well, I'm trying to, okay, this is the red fife at 86%.
Wait, you're letting me do the one that I think's gonna win.
Yeah, I think that one might win too. And it's not really about winning. They all win. Just that they have to find their number. What's their winning number? Oh, there we go. This is the red fife. Okay. And this is
This one
very
sucked up
wet.
all the water.
See the dough now?
Mom, it sucked up all the water.
See that?
Mom, this
That sucked up all the water?
it
Good.
sucked up it all.
This one, you want to play with it? Here, when you're done playing with it, just mix it a little bit in your hands and then put it back in the jar. Okay?
Okay.
And people are worried about my hair in the food. Do you see us touching all this? We're going to make bread out of this.
Mom.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah, if you don't like that, then just leave.
All
I'm
right.
not lying. If you don't like that, just leave.
Here's the Kamut. We can be nice about it. Here's the Kamut at, what are we at now? 85%. And it's getting
Mine sucked up all the
a
water.
little better, but can you see it's still just, it's a very strong
Is
dough.
that my
It's
one?
just not very elastic.
Mom, is that the one I was working on?
What's that?
Is that the one I was working on?
This was the one you were doing. That's the one you were playing with. No, no, no.
Oh,
This
I
was,
want to touch it. It's my favorite.
you can play with it next time. Next time. It's too dry.
No, next-
It's too dry.
no, next
If you
time.
can't listen, you got to get off the video. Okay.
No, next time.
And the spelt. The spelt, we are at 82%. Okay. And they all left. Because they don't like that I shook my hair over the flour. Don't care. Okay. All right. Let's get it. There's the spelt. Let's play with the spelt so you can see what it looks like. Okay. And this is at 82%. At 82%, this spelt is starting to tear apart. Do you see that? Where it was more elastic last time and now it's started to fall apart. So 77 was a really good number for this batch of spelt. However, the last batch of spelt that I ended up going up to like 90% and having an incredible loaf of bread. So you can always just do a quick test and know for that whole big bag of grains that you got what you need to do. Okay, so spelt, I'm gonna call that done. I might let it sit and take a look at it in a little bit. Let's see if we can get it to come together a little better. but I would say this particular batch of spelt isn't absorbing quite as much as what I would like. Okay. All right, next. This one, the red fife. I was looking pretty good. We're at 86%. So remember, bread flour was 68%. We're at 78, 88. We're at 18% more water than bread flour, just with the red fife. Okay. And it's still sucking it all up. Oh, I got 8. Boy, I can't get a low number on this one for anything. So we're going from 86 to 94 grams of water.
How do you, like, take a picture with my new thing?
I don't know, but I'll tell you when I'm done on here, okay? Rouge de Bordeaux is holding up pretty good. So we were at 82. I'm doing good getting low numbers on this one. 82 plus 5 is 87. Okay. And our Kamut. Kamut's still holding up pretty good here. We're at 85. Let's add a little bit more water. Don't forget to tear your scale. 5. Now we're at 90%. Okay. So do this on a paper, not on this where it's going to get wet and changed up. So the Kamut, we'll set that there. Red fife, let's mix this puppy. At 94%. That means 94 grams of water and 100 grams of flour. And we're just mixing this by hand. So no mixers, right? And let's take a look at this. Okay. Let me just mix it up real quick here. Here it is at 94%. And it's stretching out. I could almost get a window pane, but it's starting to tear. I think this may be just a little too high for the red fife. And that's probably where I'm going wrong with this batch, is that the red fife doesn't have as much protein in it as my last batch of grain did, and I need to go lower. Even though I like how my 100% hydration breads were turning out, it's not going to turn out the same because the other grain that I had was stronger. It held more water. Okay. This one is Rouge de Bordeaux. Still like 86 to 94. 86%, that's a lot. 18% more water. Okay. This one's coming along good. It's a thirsty one. Look at this. Here's the Rouge de Bordeaux. Still very strong. I'm not getting any tearing with this. Look at that. And it still feels a little thick. Like I have a window pane there. It still feels like this could hold more liquid. So I'm gonna push it. We're going up from 87 and we'll see how much it holds. Okay. Spelt, I was gonna let that rest and then take a look. So it rested. Let's give it a mix and see if it changed in its consistency. We did not feed this one extra water. It is still at 82%. Okay. And it's still breaking apart on me. I would not go above the 77. That was the sweet spot. 75 probably for that spelt. All right, moving on to the Kamut. We are at 90% for this Kamut. And here is our Kamut. Do I adjust my salt when I adjust my hydration? No, I do my salt as a percentage of the flour. And yeah, see how this is, it's stretchy, but it tears. It's stronger than the spelt, but this, none of the tests did this say, oh yeah, it developed really beautiful gluten. It's strong, but it's not elastic. Not really. So I would love this for a pasta, but I can see how this really thrives in smaller amounts in bread, but I did not like it by itself in larger amounts. If you are making a bread with Kamut, large amounts of Kamut, I would bet my bottom dollar that you put Vital Wheat gluten in there, because there's not enough gluten forming protein. You can have high protein, but not gluten forming protein in your bread, in the flour. And it's not going to make as good a bread by itself. All right, moving on. Red Fife is done. Okay. Rouge de Bordeaux. We're at 87. Let's see if we can add a little more. Right on the money on that one, 5 grams. And our Kamut is still holding, but I'm gonna say that's done. I'm not going farther than that because it's pretty like falling apart. Okay. There we go. So we'll just mix this one up. It makes it easy. Moving on. Dun, dun, dun. I might have to do that with my hands to get it all incorporated. Okay. It's sticking to me. La, 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 la. So 87% hydration. We did not need a mixer, and we were able to get a window pane, right? With our bread dough. So if you're making your bread in a mixer and it's not coming together, soaking for a few minutes could help, right? If you don't have the best kneading mixer. But it should come together pretty easily. Yeah, look at that. Look at that window pane. Woo! And then it broke. But we got it. A nice one. And we're at 87%. Okay. And I have only done just this little bit of kneading, just to make sure that that water gets fully absorbed. And I gotta tell you, it still feels like it could hold more. So we're gonna add a little bit more. Okay. What's up? What are you up to?
I was trying
is it
to
doing
shoot you
that?
with this little Lego dart. Mom, this is a Lego shooter.
Okay.
try to shoot you with it.
You're gonna shoot me with a Lego?
A Lego.
That doesn't sound like a very nice thing to do to your mom.
Oh.
Do I look like Daddy to you?
It's a Lego gun. I made it so you can shoot. You want to see?
Sure. Oh, wow. Just don't shoot me. I'm the cuddly one.
Well, yeah.
I'm the cuddly one. Don't you shoot me. And this is still going strong.
If it
Oh,
is,
and I didn't add the
you
5.
get shot.
87 plus 5 is 92.
I shot you with it
Okay.
2 times. Mom. Mom.
Yeah.
It holds little bullets. One slabbies.
Does it?
Like,
Okay.
it holds these. Those
Yeah.
are little Technic slabs.
Okay.
Or they shoot like little flower buds.
Ooh.
Like a green flower.
Did you see how it just pulled up and out like that? Doo-doo-doo. I like this one. Okay. This is what I'm talking about. Ooh, baby. That's nice. Nice elasticity. You see that? So we can have fun playing with our bread dough, and then we are going to turn this into a bread, all 4 of these. Okay. Let's check out the Fife. That was the one at 94%. Maybe it needed a few minutes to just suck it up a little bit more and develop some gluten. So I don't want to rule it out without playing. Well, and it might be just a matter of
How much you play with it?
how much you letting it sit for a minute could have been
Since I helped you,
the
have
decider.
one.
Okay, yeah, look at that. This one just needed a rest. Holy moly. Oh, baby.
Is the one?
Look at
Is it the one that I wanted to have?
Woo!
That I wanted to win? Is it the one that I wanted it to win?
The yellow one is not the winner on the highest amount. Right now, this is the highest amount,
Bigger.
but we have not gotten there. We're not
I
done
can
yet.
Shoot your arm.
Oh, this is fun.
I
Okay.
shot your arm.
So my bread fails on the Fife. They are not due to hydration. They're just due to my severe neglect of my sourdough starter. And that's good to know. All right. Kind of figured, but you know, it helps to look at it. Plus other people were asking questions. All right, these grains are just, the spelt is lower. Okay. I'm adding another 5 to the Rouge de Bordeaux. That'll take us to 97. Doot. We are almost at equal parts flour and water. Without a mixer, I might add. I don't know how long I've been doing this for. Dear Facebook, please put a timer on live videos so that I can know how long I'm blabbering on for. I need to start running a timer when I do videos, see if my devices will do it.
Mom, you know you've been in there for over an hour?
Have I? I don't know, because my camera doesn't tell me how long. Okay. All right. Pulling out the Rouge de Bordeaux. 97% hydration. It's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. Ooh, it's so floppy and stretchy.
Hands up.
And is it still a little thirsty? I don't know. But I'm gonna push it a little bit further to see
Put
just
your hands
how
up.
much this will hold. But right now,
Put your hands
we are
up.
almost at 100%.
Put your hands
Put my hands up. Don't shoot, officer. I was good. I followed all the laws. I promise.
I didn't shoot you.
Except I didn't put my seatbelt on. That's not a shoot-worthy offense.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
You didn't even shoot.
All right, get out of here.
No. I'm shooting you.
You can't be nice. You can't be in here.
I shot you.
You better be nice.
Up. Your butt pushed me over.
My butt pushed you over. I did not even move. I think you did it. If you happen to bounce off my butt, that's not my
Your
problem.
butt pushed me.
5 more grams.
Your butt actually pushed me.
102%.
I had to remain to shoot your butt.
Okay.
I had to remain to shoot your butt.
Okay, stop. No means no the first time. And I'm not going to tell you again. So you better fix this.
Swallow it. Literally just it's not a nerve. It doesn't hurt.
It doesn't matter. It matters that I said no. Please don't do that. Stop. Did you not hear that part?
I'll let you shoot me.
It's called boundaries.
I'll shoot myself.
I wouldn't want to shoot you. You're too cute to be shot. Wouldn't it hurt? I don't want to hurt you.
No, it won't.
All right. 102%. Okay.
It's literally just a Lego square piece or a
And
circle
it's
piece.
still holding on pretty strong there. I got a nice window pane. I know you can't see that
That
before it
doesn't
broke.
even hurt.
This feels hydrated. It feels very hydrated.
Right in the neck.
Doesn't feel dry at all. Can you stop?
I shot myself right.
Okay, please don't do that. Please stop talking about that. Okay. This is not. We don't need to be doing that.
Do you know where a Phillips screwdriver is?
There are people in this country who have been shot, and it is not a very nice thing. Not everybody likes to do that and hear that and think it's fun. So if you think it's fun and you want to do it privately, that's fine. But while my camera's rolling here, there's people who could be upset and sad. And I don't like to make people upset and sad over stuff. We're just talking about bread. Sheesh. Let's keep it about the bread.
I'm trying to have fun.
You can have fun.
I
Just not with that
I can't.
while we're doing this. This one's done.
I can't have
This
fun.
one's done. We're all done.
But I don't know what is fun anymore.
Give me a minute. Let me mix the bread and then we're going to go on a walk. Was that fun? Yes. Okay, great. We're going to mix our bread. We don't have any good bread. Let me tell you what we don't need. We don't need more water because we already put it in our dough. Okay? And this is a good example of how you can mix and make bread without a scale. I just don't like to. All right. What are the other ingredients we need for our bread? Typically Udaine, but we're not going to do that today because we already hydrated all our flour. I am going to use a mixer to incorporate the rest of the ingredients and just get this done. Okay? am going to add a little bit of vitamin C. Okay, let's get these ingredients out of the jars and into the mixer. And so we have 400 grams of flour, because I did 100 grams per jar. Isn't that interesting? That's the amount of flour I've been using for my Italian bread base. Correct? And then we can add these numbers together to find out just how much liquid is in our recipe. I don't want to call it a recipe, but I guess we could. Okay. Next, this one's the spelt. Oh, looks pretty good there. Okay. And the red fife. Okay. Echo. What's 82 plus 94 plus 90 plus 102?
The total is 368.
Okay, so 368 divided by 400 is what?
368 divided by 400 equals 0.92.
So we're clocking in at 92% hydration. Hi, beautiful. Thank you for the hug. Okay. All right. And we need to add a couple things to make this bread. Right? We need lemon juice. Lemon. In the bowl, not in my face. There we go. Ah, we got a little bit of lemon in there. Okay. Next, we need some salt. If we don't want to use a scale, we could use a teaspoon. This is a half a teaspoon. One and a half teaspoons. And yeast or sourdough starter. My sourdough starter is still pretty strong. It has been neglected. I'm going to do again, I think, a double batch, like a duplicate. I'm just going to put an amount in that's this much. How much? I don't know. Really don't. All right, so that's that. And then we'll just put a little pinch of yeast in there and call it a day. This time I will preheat my oven earlier so I can make a gorgeous loaf and not a disaster. There. All right. That was like maybe 1/8 of a teaspoon. It was not even. All right. Flour, water, salt, and yeast. And a little bit of lemon juice. Let's knead this puppy up. I just wanted to make sure I get it all mixed up. Okay, there's not really anything else left to do because we already have a beautiful, nice, strong dough. We saw that with our window pane in our Fife and our Rouge de Bordeaux. I'll try to keep these so I can put in the amounts for those people who don't want to actually watch the video. And I do try to think of you guys, I swear. They won't ever hear this part anyway because it's at the end. But we'll pop this into a bread bowl and get it proofing. Okay. See, nothing wasted. We did our experiment. What did I do with my water? There it is. We did our experiment, and we still get to use the mixture. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Does that look like a nice bread dough to you? Does to me. Okay. Ah, yeah. Okay. So that's something to think about if you are making your bread and you don't have a scale and you don't want to use one. Figure out how much your flour holds. Mix it up a few minutes at a time, and then add your yeast and your salt. Call it a day. Doesn't have to be difficult, complicated. Oh, that smells so good. And it feels good too. Okay? We'll just let this sit here. It is 1 o'clock. Hey, I'm gonna bake tonight sometime before midnight or whatever I did the other day. All right. Thanks for joining me. I hope this helped. If you have a new batch of grain and you're not sure where you stand with hydration and making a bread, you can play with a very small amount of bread dough to figure out exactly how much that is going to hold and how it's going to respond when you add more water, so that you can find what the sweet spot is for your particular batch of grain. That's why I don't like to say follow my recipe, but use the method. And this is another part of the method that's important, that maybe is overlooked, whichever. Anyway, have a great day, and don't forget, everything's better when you just milk. Welcome back. I'm checking my dough. I'll be off in a minute. Okay, we're gonna wet our hands. Look at that dough. It's beautiful. We have a nice, strong, thin window pane. This is well on its way. Isn't it kind of interesting? So, if you know how to calculate the hydration, I know, hang in with me if you are not a math person, okay? But a lot of the recipes for bread, especially fresh milled, they clock in at like maybe 70%, 72, 73, maybe 75. The beginner's bread dough clocks in at 76%, I think, on my Just Mill It site. And yet, when we just did this experiment with 2 different types of wheat, spelt and kamut, without doing anything other than observing how the flour absorbed the water, we got to 92% hydration. Like 90% of the flour is water. And it came together by hand in a matter of time by mixing and watching what happened. So again, the hydration of most of these recipes I think is way off. And you know, I gotta credit Monique from Lovely Bell Bakes. She first said something like, oh, I think it's a lot thirstier and we need to make it more like, you know, 75 or something like that percent. And I was like, oh, except there's a range of bread, and some of the bread is supposed to be more dense and some are supposed to be lighter, more open crumb. The problem was that I didn't understand that the range of bread. So bread is usually made with 60% water to 80%. 60 to 80% hydration is usually the range that you'll see bread made in, okay? You might see bread flour, bread made maybe to 90, or if they do 100%, it's gonna be a really strange, different bread, like not what you would normally eat in a sandwich, okay? But with fresh milled flour, we just did that experiment and we're clocking in at 92% hydration for this beautiful bread dough. And it's probably somewhere in the 70 to, 70, 72 range, right in the middle range of hydration for bread flour. Yeah.
I found a YouTube channel actually that
I'll see it in a
believe
minute.
in Scott.
Oh, good. I'll be over to check it out in a minute.
Because he prayed
so-
about God to like make a sister listen to all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Like, please make sure this dragon doesn't kill me in Minecraft and other stuff.
Okay, can I finish this and then I'll be
Yeah.
in? Okay. So, my Italian bread base starts at 80% hydration. And I often look at it and say, ugh, this isn't enough water. And that would be true, but 80% hydration is like perfect for the Philadelphia soft pretzels, the bagels, and the 90% hydration would make a really nice sandwich bread. 100% hydration would make incredible ciabatta rolls and English muffins, right? So knowing that the amount of water that you put in your dough can change depending on what it is you want it to become, now you got some power, right? But we have to understand, first and foremost, that fresh milled flour absorbs way more water than the stuff from the store. All right, that's all. Have a great day. You know I'll check back in with you on this loaf later on. And as always, it's always better when you just mill it. We're back. It's about 4.5 hours later. I did put it on the sourdough warmer because the dough was kind of cold. I also preheated my oven. I don't want the same thing to happen that happened last time. I just love this dough. Spelt, Red Fife, Rouge de Bordeaux, and Kamut. I'm liking it, but I'm not ready to shape it just yet. See you in a little bit. Welcome back. We're gonna do something with this dough right here. We need a pan. Do a bread pan. What?
Crispy treat that you might like
What's that?
called bread and fries.
Oh,
Because
I've had all the carbohydrates for the day that I need. All right, we're gonna use this today.
it's not like I want you to make them right now.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
I'll tell you how to make them.
All right.
Okay?
Okay.
You need to make a little bit of bread. Okay?
Okay.
And then after you make a little bit of bread,
I like
cook
that.
some fries. Put the dough on the outside of it and make it look like a block
Okay.
of dough.
Mm-hmm.
Toss them in the oven.
You are gonna. Maybe you'll be a chef when you grow up. I can see that.
I'll make my own business.
You have a lot of interesting ideas, don't you? Okay. Who knows? Who knows?
Oh my God, it was so sweet.
So could you put the bags in these trash cans, please? That would be helpful. All right, we need some flour.
Pretty big of a bag for a trash can.
So there's 2 cans to put in. This one and then the white one. Thank you.
2 pins for what?
2 cans. There's
You
2
said
bags. 2 cans.
pans.
Did I say pans? Well, I meant cans. They rhyme, so.
Guys, told them what she said. Am I right or is she wrong?
That was cute how you said that. Uh-huh. Okay.
What do I always wanted to do?
What did you always want to do? Okay.
Can you believe this tall of a trash can?
Oh, that would be super tall. What on earth would we do with that?
Take over a week to fill it.
Okay.
7 weeks. We just 5
Oh,
trash.
it's stuck to my hand. Gasp.
What then?
My bread
Oh!
stuck to my hand. I had this nicely shaped loaf, and what did I do? Plop. Oh well, we got it in
Oh,
there.
smack the bread with a
So
trash.
I'm liking this, and I can
Smack the bread with the
do
trash.
that if I want. Just like so. Might just fold it there. And we're gonna let this rise till I feel like it. We'll see you later. Okay, here's our bread. See how it's risen almost to the top of the pan? It's got nice bubbles. It's super light and fluffy. We're gonna bake this. So to bake it, I just put another large cast iron pan on upside down. We line them up, and then into the oven they go. Just like that. That creates a Dutch oven. And we're gonna set our timer for 30 minutes. All right, I just took this loaf out of the oven, and we're gonna get it out of the pan. Just like this. Look at it. Oh my goodness. It's beautiful. Look at that. Oh. I have to say I really like this. When I used the other silicone that was meant for, you know, an open bake, it leaves a different mark here, and this covered it so well. It's just so beautiful. So I will definitely be using these again. Thank you, Mom. I love them. I'll just went over the pan a little bit. Okay. And we can't cut it till it cools. As with all our Italian bread, let's let it cool. I'll see you when it's there. Hi. Let's have some bread. Okay. Here's our bread. We've got strength, of course. We can fold it in half, which is great. We can do the crumple and bring it back, okay? but it's a little less than it would be if I had used my Udain. I love the Udain in my bread. That said, this is a pretty great bread for what we did, right? It's pretty flexible, but not, like I said, see, look right here. See how it cracked a little here? It's still strong enough that I could fold it in half and unfold it, and it stayed. The crumple test, it did crack a little bit. So not as good as the Udain version, but it'll do, right? And what a great way to learn and then make your next loaf using those numbers that you got. Let's get some butter on this, shall we? Oh, all the butter is cold. Well, I guess that means we're just gonna have to have toast. I hope your pillow's cold, not your butter. It's just terrible, isn't it? Alright, so we'll toast these, and yeah, that crust is just beautiful. The crust is my favorite part. I was never a crust person, and now I just love it. Can't get enough. So, wasn't that fun? I think yes. And I gotta tell you, I have the recipe part already written up. I have a blog post to go along with it, and I've downloaded all the videos from today, and I'm gonna try my best to cut out the nonsense, like Eli and I going back and forth with each other. But that way you can look back on it later. If I do all these lives and I don't download them and do anything with it, then they're lost forever after 30 days. And I don't want to have to keep doing the same stuff over and over again, other than make our favorite bread, right? Okay, so that is all for today, except when the bread comes out. And I think tea is in order, don't you? If anybody's on or wants to come on and chat, or you have specific questions about, you know, what went down today, why we did that experiment at all when there's recipes we could follow, right? Tell me about it, you know? Like, I, growing up, never understood, I don't know, I just have a thing about, I don't want to follow the rules, I want to come up with my own, I want to experiment and figure it out, even if it means that I fail, and learn from the failure, what didn't work, right? And that has led to so much more fun in pretty much everything. That's how I try to do things. I want to teach people with the fresh milled flour how to use a base recipe and then change that up in a endless number of ways to make new things. And rather than teach from just a recipe, I want to teach through recipes. My toast is done. Ooh, yeah. So, the new website, which is up, by the way, like a lot of people might not notice it because it looks very similar to the WordPress version. there is a menu link that says recipe bases, and that is where the money is on this website. Okay. For example, the beginner's bread base is clocking in at like 76, 74, 76% hydration. It's low. It's about what most of the other recipes are probably out there, okay? But don't stay there, for crying out loud. Like, do not stay there. If you want to start there and then make changes and add other things to your bread, it's a really safe place to start, and then add like an egg and some butter and maybe a little milk or honey, and cool. Now you have a sweet sandwich bread that isn't going to fail on you. You're still well within the range to make it good no matter what. But then once you get used to that, please, please, please go to the Italian bread base and start working there. I purposely made the Italian bread base the lowest amount of water, which would be 80% hydration, so that you can work your way up and try some of the other recipes that fall under that base. So when you see the recipe bases page, it will show you the base, and then it'll show you all the what we call child recipes, and you can see the hydration of them when you go into each one, and that is where you're going to really start to grow your experience working with the bread. You're going to get to practice different ways of shaping and open baking, and just using multiple grains and so many different things, that it's gonna really get fun, and it's gonna be so delicious. People are gonna go, "This is whole grain? Are you serious? I didn't know that. I would have thought it came from the grocery store." Get that a lot. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh man. My body has been craving this bread for days. Oh. So technically, this is 5-grain bread, because I fed my sourdough starter einkorn, and then we did those 4 grains: red fife, rouge de Bordeaux, spelt, and kamut. So it's a 5-grain bread because the einkorn was in the sourdough. Unbelievable. And the sourdough makes it just so good. I need a cup of tea. Oh. Seriously? All right. It's one of those days. Oh yeah. I'm gonna have green tea, elderberry, and echinacea with this delicious toast. And like I said, please talk. Tell me what you're thinking. Do you have questions? Do I sound crazy? Or is this something that you've been wondering about? Like, I've seen a lot of people go, "Oh, my bread just all of a sudden isn't turning out, and I don't know what happened." And nothing's changed. I did the same thing I did before. Did you get a new batch of grain? If the answer is yes, it probably has to do with you might have too much water in your bread, because why is that not working? The new, can we see the, oh yeah. Before I toast it, I got another one here. I got a whole loaf here. Yes. You want a bite?
Sure. Thank you.
I'll give you a whole slice, not just a bite.
Oh, okay. You sure?
Yeah, but you gotta toast another one.
Oh, okay. Deal. Deal.
Okay. Here's our
Happy
bread.
V-Day. Early.
Oh yeah.
Happy V-Day, people.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. So here's our bread. This one I sliced it like really thin. Not even as thick as my finger. Okay.
V-Day.
Not bad for a no Udane loaf. Okay. There it is.
That slice is gonna be so lonely in the toaster. You should probably cut another one.
That's code for that's good. I need another one.
That's the best thing since sliced bread.
He's so cute. So, for me, I learned that doing my 100% hydration with my red Fife alone isn't going to work how I want it to, because 90% is the ideal sweet spot for that particular grain this time around. Where the hard white wheat that I had before that, I could go to 100, 120, and it held on to that water no problem. So that's a pretty big change. But I was very surprised to see that the Rouge de Bordeaux held 102%. I probably could have added more, but I didn't want to risk it. It felt hydrated and really nice. The other thing that was kind of cool to watch, like I looked at the timeline of the video. I started doing the hydration part, adding the water to the flour, 13 minutes, 20 something seconds in. So 13 and a half minutes in is when I added the water, and right around 50 minutes, we were starting to make the bread. So we had about 42 minutes of hydration of the flour that helped us along, because we did that all by hand. And yet we had beautiful window pane within 40 minutes just by letting each jar rest and mix the next one. So our hands didn't get sore. It didn't feel like time went by slowly, you know, and we could get just the right amount, give or take, of water for each grain, and then put it all together and make a great bread. So you could do this with einkorn. You could do it with barley. Like if you were going to do an ancient grains loaf, this is how I would do it. And I have one on the site, but I would do spelt, barley, rye, einkorn, kamut, some hard red, and spelt. Did I say spelt? I said spelt. And I would do each one in a different jar, but for the amount of flour that I wanted. So like, you're not gonna do 25% of barley and of rye and then have the rest be hard grains. The bread's not gonna stay together. We need there to be less barley and rye. So maybe I would mix the barley and the rye and then mix the spelt and the einkorn, and then add in the hard wheat and kamut. I think that would work out pretty well, like keeping it in the bucket as though each jar is 25%, and we need our bread to still have strength to it with our bread grains. Oh, the bread's done. Yeah, so when mixing the grains together that need different hydration, that's where this experiment shines. So the spelt only got, let me grab my papers, I'll show you. So I did each, oh my goodness, I did each stage one at a time. So I milled them all, then I fed them all water one at a time, mixed one at a time, and then moved on to the next step. And I wrote down the numbers, so we'll go in order. Spelt. We started high. You can see I fed it 1, 2, 3 extra times, so 4 times. The 68 grams, the 71, 77, and 82. And the 82 was okay, but it wasn't as strong as it could have been. So somewhere between 77 and 82, probably around 80%, would be ideal for the spelt. If I wasn't sure, I'd definitely go with the last feeding, which was 77. Okay, so this one clocked in the lowest. It did not hold as much water as the other grains did. That's why we put 100 grams of flour in each jar. Okay, next was the kamut. Okay, we can see that I fed it 1, 2, 3, 4 times after the initial feeding, and we got up to 90 grams of water for our 100 grams of flour. And that's cool. The kamut was very strong. However, it never formed a window pane, which is not what we really want for bread. Does it add strength? Like it's good for pasta dough and all that? Yes, it will add some strength. It has protein in it, but it doesn't have the best gluten-forming protein, which is what we want in bread. That's why hard wheat is considered the ideal bread grain, and kamut is considered the ideal pasta grain. Okay? Next, isn't this fun? Okay, red fife. So red fife is a hard red wheat. It's an heirloom variety, and I just love the flavor of red fife. This one we fed 1, 2, 3, 4 times. I happened to like over pour on this particular one almost every time. So 94 was too high and 86 was probably a little too low. So I would clock this one at 90% hydration for it to be good. And this is why some of my loaves were just starting to fall apart early. I had in some of them 100% or more hydration, thinking I was working with like the hard white I had before, and it doesn't hold that much. So you can get into trouble by trying to push the water too high with a grain that doesn't hold so much. So this one's better, right? But the one that won, this one was the winner. Okay, Rouge de Bordeaux, RDB. This one was fed 1, 2, well, 68 was the original. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times in addition to the first. Okay, so we got up to 102% more water than flour with the Rouge de Bordeaux. And we got the most beautiful, gigantic and huge and strong window pane at 102%. Now, at the 92%, I was saying, this is a nice window pane, but it feels still like there's little bits of bran that are not totally hydrated, and I need to add more water. And then 97%, I'm like, this is still really strong, but I think it can hold a little more water. And it did. And it might be able to hold more, but I didn't feel anything dry left in the dough at that point, and I didn't want to risk pushing that even higher and ruining a good bread, right? So, because I'd already pushed the spelt too high, and the kamut isn't really a great pasta, like a great bread grain. I know everybody thinks it is, but if you're adding Vital Wheat gluten to your bread to make a bread, try making it without it and tell me if your kamut's still a good bread. Because I've done that. Like, it's not. I didn't want to take a chance at overhydrating this and messing up the loaf. So if you're not sure if it's going to be able to take more water, leave it where it's at. But if you're positive and you're feeling it and you go, ooh, this bran doesn't feel like it's soft and pliable and wet like the rest of the dough, then add a little bit more. And when I say a little bit more, 5 grams is all I'm adding. It's a tiny amount of water. Think about a tablespoon of water. That's like 10, 12 grams, isn't it? Something like that. So like a half a tablespoon maybe of water per feeding is all we're doing. And it was just fascinating. I had so much fun today. I'm all hyped up now. So yeah, I have this blog post ready to go. I'm going to upload the recipe with the picture and the blog post to go along with it and what we learned here, you know, for people who don't want to sit there and watch the super long video. But if you really want to learn, go watch it. Do it alongside of me. Mill 100 grams of flour at the same time. I talk enough that you can do that and still keep up. So go mill 100 grams of whatever hard wheat you have. If it's hard white or hard red, or maybe you have einkorn, and mill like 4 different grains that you think would make a good bread. If you don't have 4, do 2, right? And just keep adding water a little at a time until it gets to be just gorgeous. And then make a bread with it. So, if you need help, just call me up. Hey, what do you think of this? I'll be like, ooh, nice bread. That looks good, you know? Sometimes Ray comes up to me and he goes, what you reading? What you looking at? I'm like, one guess. He's like, bread. Uh-huh. Man, that's good. I needed a win. This was a good way to do it. You know what? My sourdough starter. Where did I do not want to leave this out. I'm going to put it in the refrigerator for tomorrow. Do I post my hydration percentage for every grain I experimented with? I did. Yes, I posted it in the post. Well, I didn't post the post yet. It's drafts right now. I want to push it all to the website like at the same time. So when I do, yes, I will cover all of this. I have pictures, a gallery of like the highlights so you can see the different steps that I did and how I decided whether I was going to add more liquid or hold back, and how I decided which grains were good for bread and which grains weren't, right? All of that is in that. It's very eye-opening. So yeah, I post that, what the ideal percentage was for these particular grains, but please do not go by my percentages for your grains, because we don't know where your grains were grown or when they were harvested or, you know, any of that. And it could be very different. You're back from deployment and man, I graved my whole grain bread. Oh, I bet you did. First thing I did is you made bread. Yes, good job. Very nice. Well, when you get a chance, try this. It was fun. This is the second time I've done it, and I'm glad I did it again. It was confidence building, honestly, to see similar results in the way the dough behaved as I added the liquid, and also to see just how different the hydration percentages could be from the last time that I did it. So that was pretty wild. Oh, man. Yeah, weather plays a role, right? So if there's a lot more moisture in the air, I'm not going to need nearly as much water in my bread. And we saw that with the bread classes, where one week we'd be teaching everybody and the bread was just great. And the next week we do the exact same thing. Exact same bag of grains, exact same, you know, all the stuff. But it was like a rainy day. Everybody's dough was just so much wetter and harder to get together and whatnot. I'm like, what the heck? What is going on? There's a lot more moisture in the air. We didn't need that much in the dough. And then, you know, the next week it's super dry and we need to add more liquid from what we did the other two classes. All the same recipe, all the same grains, and yet 3 different outcomes. We still had great bread in all the classes because we know how to adjust, right? That's part of the learning process. But the stress level as the teacher, you know, like, am I really qualified to teach people how to do this? I don't know. Well, the bread turned out, I guess so. That, I'm gonna have to make another one tomorrow, but with you, Dane. And it's gonna be ciabatta rolls, not a loaf. Definitely ciabatta rolls. Have you guys had this tea? I got it the other year and it really helped us out in the winter. It was this Puka elderberry echinacea. It's organic tea, which is fine, you know, but I don't care for the flavor. It tastes a little, I don't know, like too sweet or something. And a couple days ago, I ended up putting the Bigelow Green in with that, and the two are just so good together. Even realized, like, oh, Mom, that's really good. Can I have it with the green tea? All right. It's getting late. I do want to finish these posts tonight and get them up for you. I need to take a picture of my sliced bread, and then I think I'll be done. I mean, honestly, I don't really care if my bread looks like super awesome. If you're following my videos, you know. If you've made the bread, you know. Tell your friends, like, just give it a try. She's not a photographer. Like, that'll work. I'm not a photographer. I'm not a professional videographer. Just some chick in her home doing what I like to do, you know. Oh, green tea with peppermint. Yes, that's so good. I like a peppermint tea. We have spearmint from the garden that's not, I don't know where it's at. One of these cabinets. Switching the baking area from that, the kitchen into here, I'm a little turned around still. But, yeah, mint and green tea. Oh, that's so good. Oh yeah, that's yummy. And the bread, I can still taste the bread. All right, have a good night. Thank you guys for joining me. I really appreciate it. Thank you for chatting and not me just talking to myself. Because honestly, most of the time that's what it is. Like, I can see myself in the screen and I just pretend I'm talking to, like, my mom. And here we are chatting about bread, but really it's just me all by myself. Okay, have a good night. Oh, happy Valentine's Day, everybody. I'm not doing heart-shaped loaves. Maybe I'll do heart-shaped ciabatta rolls. Who knows? So I'll post to Facebook when the post is up on the site. And I am almost done with all the broken links from transitioning from WordPress to the new site. So we're not there yet. If you see a 404 or something like that, I'm just not done yet. But we're getting there. Have a great night. Don't forget, everything's better when you just mill it.